Chosen one, understand this. Your story was never meant to end in humiliation. It was always leading to glory. They mocked you when they thought you were empty-handed. They laughed when they assumed you were beneath them. As you stepped into that grand mansion, carrying nothing but your truth and your quiet strength, they measured you by earthly standards, by brand names, by appearances, by things that crumble and rot. They saw your simple clothes and your calm presence and thought you were an outsider. What they didn't realize was that you were the rightful heir to everything around them. Before the ink even dries, the paintings on the walls, the chandeliers above their heads, and every inch of that sacred ground will belong to you. You see, chosen one, your wealth was never just about material things. It's about the vindication that can only come through divine orchestration. Your inheritance isn't a handout. It's a fulfillment of a heavenly promise. Save your tears. There's no need to weep for moments when people judged you too soon. Smile instead, because heaven prepared a table for you right in front of them, and it's overflowing. Conversations pause as you feel the tangible weight of their attention. As you approach the big hall, the room becomes quiet. The air is filled with expensive scent. Marble flooring are illuminated by chandeliers. Every surface, including polished wood, leather, and crystal, shines with old money. Everyone shines. Silk gowns, jewels, and fitted suits that are more valuable than your whole wardrobe. Every time you go into a room that isn't meant for you, the familiar knot in your gut starts to build. You've experienced it before. In business offices, university corridors, and any other setting where status and riches erect imperceptible boundaries. The feeling of being evaluated and judged short before you've even spoken a word. However, a peaceful awareness that they cannot touch you keeps you upright. You duck into a nook beside a large window overlooking foggy hills. Without saying sorry or providing an explanation, you just stand there and watch. Your existence is a statement. I am welcome wherever I want to be. Their murmurs gain confidence and turn into raucous laughing at your expense. Leaning against mahogany, the affluent heir with the gold watch speaks loudly on purpose. Seriously, who let the cleaning staff in? The cousins around them laugh at their comments, which are as brittle and sharp as glass shattering. Without lowering their voices, you hear them ask, "What is someone like that doing here?" There is more laughing and scathing looks as the guy in scarlet adds, "Maybe they're here to dust the will before it's read." Every phrase is intended to erase and reduce. Unwanted attention is directed to you by the affluent relative wearing the pricey suit. As they gesture, their Rolex catches the light, making you a spectacle for their entertainment. You turn into a joke that you never agreed to participate in, and your dignity becomes the punchline. Being the outsider, the one they believe is unimportant, the one whose humanity is optional, whose sentiments are unimportant. You've experienced this before, the well-known feeling of being seen as inferior, as other, as unworthy of attention. As you take in their brutality and store it away like proof, your breathing stays calm. Your eyes are focused on the vacant chair where the lawyer would sit, and your fingers tense momentarily on your cotton bag. Their ridicule is fueled by your silence, which makes them uneasy. They see your poise as failure, and your silence as submission. They are unable to discern the steel below and the silent strength of a self-aware person. Emerging phones record your unease without your permission. With flawless nails, the youthful internet entrepreneur taps frantically at their screen. The hashtag travels instantaneously, turning your picture into digital gold. Found the charity case crashing the will reading. Guess they think thrift store chic gets them $1 billion. Your dignity becomes the joke's punchline, and your existence becomes into their amusement. Strangers are calling you desperate and unworthy in the comments that pour in. People who will never know your name will consume your humanity and convert your life to disdain. You observe as they share your photo with strangers, tag friends, and make captions. Digital waves propagate the infringement, A fresh betrayal with every sharing. Every remark is a new cut. Without your consent, your private moment of sorrow and expectation was turned into a public display. In that instant, you realize that being seen may be violent in and of itself, that being noticed without being recognized causes a certain type of suffering, and that cameras can be used as weapons by those who believe you are not human. But you don't run away or hide. There's something that keeps you there. When you're not looking, the person in the velvet blazer walks up, writes charity case on a cocktail napkin, and tucks it under the strap of your bag. The crowd snickers, spreads, and notices. People are pointing behind you. The prank is a spectacle as well as nasty. Because you dared to be among them, they turned you into a joke. Every harsh phrase exposes their soul's poverty rather than your value. The pinstripes investor rises, his fingers shaking in outrage. This person's a fraud. Their companion, who is wearing an emerald skirt, continues. The crowd's mutterings intensify as they act their fury, feeding off your prolonged stillness. They've probably got a fake ID in that rag of a bag. You see this moment for what it is, a sifting by God. The cosmos is mathematically classifying souls into groups. Those who perceive humanity versus those who see just the surface. Those who cherish love versus those who harbor disdain. The mere stimulus of your presence causes the sorting to occur organically and effortlessly. Their actions reveal the reality of who they are, which affluence has hidden. The flawed hearts below can't be concealed by the flawless outfits. The poverty of compassion cannot be concealed by the diamond necklaces. The spiritual bankruptcy that permits people to abuse another creature with such casual brutality cannot be concealed by the pricey watches. You now have an odd sense of detachment, as if you were looking down from above. Your mind detaches itself a little from the situation, seeing it objectively and without emotion. As it slowly records everything, the security camera in the corner blinks red. They are unable to perceive what you see or understand what you know. It dawns on you that they are being judged here, not you. You're not on trial here, they own it. And they are openly, irrevocably, and dramatically failing. Their souls are on exhibit. Their personalities are caught in crisp detail, and their actual selves are saved in digital memory that will last beyond even their costly legacy. Hello, this is Mike and Ari interrupting your regularly scheduled show for a little minute. We are the creators of the Astral Atom Network and the Obsidian Inner Order. We've finished being polite. Our battle is a spiritual one. You are aware of it. We are aware of it. Additionally, we are dedicated to this objective full-time. We need the ammo, but I'm craving the blood of a fourth-dimensional archon. Listen up. Joining the Inner Order gives you access to special resources they never meant you to have, such as spiritual warfare techniques they scraped off the internet, psychic self-defense training, and targeted individual intelligence. We also meet in private once a week, selected ones only on Zoom. Genuine gnosis, genuine family, and real power. No filters or filler. It's a complete victory. We get to continue fighting. You get what you need. Don't simply watch then. Give this video a like and tell everyone you know about it right now. Join the Inner Order of Obsidians. Let's complete the task at hand. The description contains a link. Let's go crazy. There is complete stillness when the lawyer walks in. A big briefcase and a gray suit. With an accuracy that seems to be controlled by forces outside the room, the clock strikes the hour. Like subjects before kings and queens, the throng naturally separates to form a route to the front. The lawyer's grizzled hands hold documents that will alter everything. No preface, no flair. They place the briefcase on the table, open it, and take out a sealed envelope. As they break the seal, the sound of wax crackling fills the silent room. Every motion is ceremonial and intentional. Time seems to slow down, and the air is charged with potential. It seems as if the molecules between bodies are vibrating with anticipation. The interval between heartbeats is infinite, as the paperwork that will alter the future unroll under fingertips that have handled thousands of similar documents that seal destiny. Reality holds its breath. There is a change in the atmosphere, a wind turning right before the storm, an unseen current shifting direction. With their eyes yearning for their inheritance, the throng pushes forward and breathes shallowly. They have planned, prepared, and traveled across continents for this moment. Real land, a biotech company worth billions, and a wealth in tech patents are all up for grabs. Or so they believe. As you get ready for what you've always knew will happen, your pulse becomes more steady. The eagerness of the throng seems far away, unrelated to your own reality. You are the only one who is immune to their hunger, greed, and urgent desire for material gain. The contents of the documents are only known to you. Your name reverberates over the astonished room as the will is read. I, being of sound mind, declare this my final will. To my family, colleagues, and associates, I leave nothing but this truth. Wealth reveals character, not worth. All my assets, company shares, properties, accounts, and intellectual rights are bequeathed to one person, the one who saw my truth when others saw only my fortune, the one who embodied integrity when others sought only advantage, my true heir and chosen successor. Their faces change in waves of disbelief, shock, horror, with their gold ties now seeming gaudy against their pale complexion. The affluent relative's grin falters. The screen of the internet entrepreneur's phone cracks on marble as it slides in their grasp. With their partner's emerald now weighing heavily around their neck, the elder investor collapses into their chair. They mutter, "Impossible," trying to make sense of your straightforward look in relation to who you really are. The mob desperately looks for answers, for gaps, for ways out. Somebody exclaims, "This can't be right." They weren't related. They weren't even in the inner circle. Someone has forged the will. For the first time, you take a step forward and assert your own space without expressing regret. Like a river turning, your movements are silent, yet purposeful. As you go across the room, every eye follows. As a sign of your unwavering honesty, you pause next to the lawyer, standing erect, your face composed, and the cloth bag still dangling from your shoulder. Like lightning leaping from one conductor to another, the power is clearly transferred. With a little gesture of respect, the attorney hands you the folder that has the court records, photos, letters, and evidence of a relationship they never bothered to look into. When the audience sees you for the first time, silence falls on you like a tangible weight. The person they believe to be dead shows up, standing next to you where they belong. They enter like a storm, smashing through the huge hall doors. Their shoes were worn out from travel, and their suit was plain with no tie. The audience falls silent in shock, the confidence gone, the murmurs fading. As the intricate plan comes to fruition, the actual nature of each individual is exposed. "You thought I was gone," they say, their voices echoing along the corridor. "You thought this was your chance to carve up my life like cake. But I've been watching every word, every sneer, every lie." Their attention turns to you. "They warned me you'd show your true colors." They were right. Those that remain are those who are even somewhat nice. Like chaff, the harsh go away. The groundskeeper who gave you water without asking, the librarian who smiled genuinely, and the nurse who bowed politely when you arrived are the only three individuals standing aside from the doomed throng. Unaware that they were being tested, three spirits passed the exam. You see justice come, not like lightning, but like morning, unavoidable, purifying. The attorney creates an additional document, an amendment to the will, which takes effect right away. Names are read like a gavel striking. Anyone who insults my chosen successor today is cut off. No shares, no properties, no contact. Protests are drowned out in the roar of criticism as the affluent air is led away. Real-time downfall of the tech entrepreneur's digital empire. Sponsors are severing connections with brutal efficiency, and the number of followers is plummeting by thousands. Long before today, this moment was scripted. You were only a tool for it. As justice is administered with mechanical accuracy, you stand next to the person who selected you. Your silence a crown. You didn't cause this to happen. You just let it happen by being there, being patient, and being ready to be undervalued while the universe put everything in place. There was more to your suffering than meets the eye. None of it was random. Not the jeering, the cyber attack, the invasion of your privacy. It wasn't all pointless. Every difficult experience made room inside of you for insight that could not otherwise enter. Every wound turned into a portal to a more profound comprehension. Every taunt made you more determined. Your vision became clearer with each rejection. Your senses were enhanced by the sneer of the rich air. Your limits were strengthened by the disdain of the individual in red. Your empathy for those who experienced similar circumstances was heightened by the tech entrepreneur's digital violation. Everything was turned into spiritual capital. Nothing was squandered or arbitrary. Preparation was what seemed to be humiliation. The universe is systematically removing your fear of standing alone, your desire for acceptance, and your addiction to outside validation. Instead of destroying lesser vessels, the fire tempered you by destroying impurities and leaving just what was necessary. Now you realize that your biggest advantage was being ignored. Being invisible allowed you to watch covertly, collect data, and see the truth unhindered. You stood in the shadows, gathering information that will eventually be used for justice, while they perform for one another, vying for attention and prestige. The cosmos was always working for you, not against you. You were brought to this exact moment of vindication by every door that was shut, every rejection and every dismissal, not for the reward of your ego, but for the re-establishment of cosmic equilibrium, not for retaliation, but for the realignment of souls in accordance with their actual nature. Worth exists without acknowledgement and is not given by others. Just as clouds passing in front of the sun don't lessen its heat or brightness, their incapacity to see your worth never lessened it. When you came in with your cotton bag, you were entire. As their kingdom falls apart around you, you are still complete. Their opinion or approval never determined your worth. Your value was measured using criteria they don't understand and in a dimension they can't access. Their inability to see your importance was a reflection of their own limits, rather than yours. Their spiritual cataracts were revealed when they disregarded your humanity. Your actual pals are the few who had a clear view of you before to the disclosure. The nurse who respectfully looked into your eyes. The librarian who recognized your serene dignity as something familiar. Water was provided by the groundskeeper without any performance or expectations. These spirits passed a test that they were unaware was being given to them, demonstrating that their vision transcends appearance, wealth, and status. You become aware of how many people hold power under modest exteriors. How many souls of great value pass through the world unacknowledged by those whose minds are confined to money accounts and brand names. Now that this experience has cleansed your vision, how many possible allies are waiting for you to recognize them? Because of this experience, you can now see your fellow humans, those who prioritize integrity over influence, character over credentials, and substance over appearance. You can sense them before they speak, and you can now see them from across crowded rooms. True souls can now be recognized beyond the realm of ordinary perception because the veil between them has thinned. Your silence was seen as weakness when in fact it was power. They saw your calmness as defeat and your silence as surrender. They were unable to understand that real strength seldom makes an announcement. Just as predators do not alert their victims, or as storms build up their momentum in quiet before erupting. You watched while they performed, collecting the facts they freely shared. Every brag exposed insecurities. Every rejection revealed dread. Every act of malice revealed weakness. They offered you the keys to their inner worlds without recognizing the doors they were opening. Their yearning to communicate buried them. Your devotion to quiet lifted you. Your constraint was not fear, but strategic patience, the ability to wait, to let things happen in their own time, and to fight the need to move too soon, which would interfere with the bigger picture that was developing all around you. Should have faith that justice will be served at its own speed, without your interference or worry. In a world of cacophony, your silence became your superpower. While others tired themselves with incessant talking, explaining, defending, you stored your energy for this moment of change. While they spent their power with every speech, you built strength with every stillness, accumulating reserves they cannot equal. You've perfected the ability of letting people disclose themselves without urging, the practice of creating space that truth naturally fills. The old proverb states that the one who talks first loses, while the person who listens gains knowledge. The knowledge that strength watches while weakness acts, that power listens while insecurity speaks. The capacity to detect what is beyond words, behind acts and behind appearances is the actual bequest, not wealth or possessions. The ability to see value in waste, substance in spectacle, and sincerity in artifice. This viewpoint is only acquired by first-hand experience and cannot be bought. You now possess the power to see beyond appearances and through veneers, to see insecurity masquerading as arrogance, fear masquerading as harshness, and emptiness concealed beneath acquisition. The clarity that pierces illusion, like light through darkness, the spiritual X-ray vision that pierces surface to expose essence. Simply said, material money is a tool for your larger goal. It is not an end in and of itself, but a means to an end. It is a means rather than a destination. It is the chest that holds the treasure rather than the treasure itself. The only reason your inherited wealth counts is the freedom it grants, the limits it creates, and the positive effects it may produce under your care. The freedom to reshape reality in accordance with truth. The means to establish environments where genuineness is valued above status. The opportunity to elevate voices that were previously silenced by the same forces that tried to silence yours. And the ability to create new systems based on the recognition of intrinsic worth, rather than external validation, are what you have truly inherited. You are now ready for your true calling because of this experience. Everything up to this point, even the mocking, undervaluation, and dismissals, served as practice. Getting ready for the time when you take complete control, not as retaliation, but as healing, not as dominance, but as equilibrium, not as a response, but as innovation. People who used to ignore you are now unable to do so. The rich heir was compelled to acknowledge your importance. The IT entrepreneur can't treat you with disdain.